Hey guys, how are you doing? I hope you're enjoying your vocabulary ebook. So in this video, we're going to look at collocations, and it's kind of a little bit like a quiz. Now, I think you know already that a collocation is where one word just fits with another, and if you changed it for a different word, it just doesn't sound right. So for example, it's why we say we have dinner rather than we take dinner. In many languages, you would say to take dinner, but we say to have dinner. It's also why it sounds very strange to English people to say, I have my age, like I have 18. We don't say that, we just say, I am. So these are collocations, and learning collocations is going to really help you sound a lot more natural. That's really the key. You're going to sound like a lot more of a native speaker if you put the right words together. Right guys, let's get on with this. So I'm going to give you 10 sentences, and I want you to choose which is the right word that would go in the gap, which fits the best. For each one, there will be 3 options, so think carefully and then I will tell you. Number 1, you're going out tonight. A great time. You're going out tonight. A great time. What could it be? The options are enjoy, spend, have. Enjoy, spend, have. The answer is, of course, have. Although it sounds okay to say enjoy a great time, we can understand you. Nobody would say this. It would be have a great time. Shh, don't disturb the professor. He's research in his lab. Don't disturb the professor. He's research in his lab. So the options are making, doing, studying. Of course, the correct answer is doing. We do research. The only other verb that we use with research is conduct. If we want to say that we've done it, we can say that we have conducted research. That is probably a little bit more formal though. Of course, you can read research, you can study research, but here we're talking about the professor actually doing it, so none of those other verbs would be correct. Number 3, it's been a pleasure, business with you. It's been a pleasure, business with you. What do you think it is? The options are making, doing, having. Of course, it is doing. We do business with somebody where we're in the process of constructing deals, of arranging things. We are doing business. If it is an ongoing thing where we have an arrangement and we have over many years, we can say have. We could say, I have a lot of business connections in the Middle East. I have lots of business in the Middle East, for example. And this is where you're talking about ownership. You're saying that you actually own those deals and those arrangements already. But when you're in the process of actually setting it up and arranging, we would say you're doing business. Number 4, we're going to a deal about who does the dishes at the weekend. We're going to a deal about who does the dishes at the weekend. So the options are have, make, and do. Of course, guys, the correct answer is make. We make a deal. We can also say that we do a deal, but this is usually after the event. Make is about the process where you're arranging the deal. Do would probably be after, like we've done a deal with Starbucks about where we get the coffee beans from, something like this. So it's usually used to report in the past tense. But in this sentence here, we would say we're going to make a deal. Number 5, can you help me? I'm difficulty starting my car. Can you help me? I'm difficulty starting my car. The options are having, finding, making. Of course, the correct answer is having. We have difficulty with something. We can also say we're having trouble with something. It means we're experiencing problems. You can also say I'm having a problem. So here it's possessive. That's why we use have. I'm having difficulty. Number 6. I'm going to bed early tonight. An exam tomorrow. I'm going to bed early tonight. An an exam tomorrow? The options are do, have, and take. The correct answer is actually have. Now, when you actually are doing the exam, you can say that you are taking the exam or you're doing the exam. You can use either. But before, we would say, I have an exam tomorrow. We possess it. We wouldn't say, I take an exam tomorrow. We would say, I have an exam tomorrow. When you're actually doing it, you could say that you're taking the exam. So number 7. Could you, the table, dinner's almost ready. Could you, the table, dinner's almost ready. The options are set, do, or make. Set, do, or make. Right, the correct answer is in fact set. Set the table. We could also say lay the table. But we do not make the table and we don't do the table. We set it or we lay it in preparation for dinner. So put the knives and forks out and things like that. So that's a common collocation, set the table, lay the table. Number 8, shh, quiet. There are students, their exam. Shh, quiet. There are students, their exam. Now what would it be here? The options are having, taking, making. Having, taking, making. The correct answer would of course be taking because they're actually doing it now. You could also say doing. So they're either doing their exam or they're taking their exam. But probably the perfect one would be taking. Number 9. Oh, our neighbour is so much trouble about our cat going into her garden. Our neighbour is so much trouble about our cat going into her garden. So the options are having, doing, making. So the correct answer is in fact making. And this is because the neighbour is the one that is causing the problem. So she's actually generating the trouble. If you have trouble and you're not causing it, then you can just say, I'm having trouble. But if somebody else is causing the trouble, then you can say they're making trouble or they're causing trouble. So the correct answer there would be making. Number 10, the last one. I think you are the right thing by not getting married if you're not in love. I think you are the right thing by not getting married if you're not in love. So the options are taking, doing, making. The correct answer is in fact doing. We do the right thing, or we do the wrong thing, or we do our best. When we're talking about how much energy we put into something, we usually use do. So we do the right thing here. Do you think they're doing the right thing? Okay, everybody, I do hope that you did well on those, and I hope this has helped you to understand collocations a little better. There are, of course, many examples that we give in the ebook, but there are also many other examples. And if you look at the end of the book, there are some useful resources about where you can find more examples of collocations.